Alright, this is as good a time for a garden update as ever. Can take a walk around the garden here. This is Poets Park. I've shared it with you before. And I have one plot, but I guess there's probably 9 plots in here. You can see lots of corn. Most of it's already been harvested. So here's Poops. This is arugula that came up from seed because I planted some here last season and I let it bolt, so that was super cool. We got this anise hyssop that is hanging on, but I'm probably going to dig it out. I don't really use it for anything, maybe in some soups or something. Then there's regular chard, doing pretty well. And this is actually from, I don't know, a whole season ago. And me trying to plant early. And so now it's doing great. And Poops will add some fertilizer there, I'm sure. All this corn. So I only got a few little corns left of mine. Poopers! Yeah, and then this kale. I ended up pulling out a lot of stuff. There was more kale here. Eventually, it gets aphids. And this year, the cabbage moths laid a bunch of eggs in there. And so, anyway, I have found that high pressure spraying will get rid of most of those things. Or you can just smush them all when you find them. But look at this kale. I mean, that's to my chest level. So that's like a 4-foot tree of kale. Got some cilantro. I don't know, cilantro is hit and miss, and I've tried to plant it too early many times. So kind of as soon as I plant it, it already wants to bolt. So I just keep picking at it. This is a massive volunteer tomatillo. There are tons of tomatillos in the garden, so it doesn't surprise me, which is cool. I don't mind it. This cherry tomato, I've just let it creep. They seem to like to do this. And the funny thing about this cherry tomato is that it actually came from my house. And it was a volunteer there from a bird or something. And because I compost everything, seeds ended up here and it totally sprouted. And honestly, like, this tomato has done better than any one that I've tried to plant myself. Cucumber, it's kind of not looking its best, but you know what, surprisingly, I've gotten some pretty big cucumbers from this thing. And then I pulled 2 of them today, 3 of them. And then someone actually pulled one for me without asking. That's cool. I would have given it to him. But this is my cilantro. And I let it bolt and just go off because I want all the coriander. So that's a ton of coriander. Rosemary bush. It's a good place for the tomato to grow. That was there when I got here. And then Thai basil, which I really love. It's wonderful. I planted 1 last year, and I liked it so much that I planted 4 this year. And so far, that's too much Thai basil for me. And then some parsley. Parsley seems to always do really well. And so I got too much parsley. And I make pesto out of both of these things, and I have some sweet and purple basil at home that I also use. And then we got the milkweed, which I'm a little perplexed by this. Maybe it's just the caterpillars, but there were like tons of flowers on this thing. And then one day I came out here and there were no flowers. But there are caterpillars. So maybe that's why. I don't know. So that's the garden thus far. I think that I'm not going to plant a whole lot for a little while. Like, as I tear these things up, because I want to amend the soil. See if I can do that a little better. Here's some of that coriander that I pulled up. And then that tomato I was talking about, that volunteer tomato, like look at that. That's all that tomato. And then even came up in some random pots, so I let them keep going. So, and then there was the basil that I was talking about. It's looking a little ratty right now, but I have been able to harvest. I think I've made 6, 7, maybe 8 batches of pesto with this and the Thai basil from the garden. Good times.